Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast of Group 2 from MF Ethic entitled J Ethics, consisting of Joshua Bayaborda,
Hello, I am Joshua.
Jay Slet,
Hello.
and me, Jackson. So, today we're going to tackle some hot topics in the engineering world that may question our ethics as future engineers. Hopefully, we won't be talking about anything too controversial, because that would be terrifying for our future. So, you
Woo.
guys, you have anything to say before we begin?
I am very interested to know what your views are and how I'm going to question you two as people. That is all for me.
Same here for
Yeah.
me. Interesado ako kung ano mangyayari ngayon sa ating mga topics. Think ko siguro mga hot topics to. So, let's do it.
Yeah, I hope the three of us, will have very fruitful conversation. So let's begin, okay? What's new in the engineering world? I mean, we have advancements in AI technology with open whatever and ChatGPT, e-vehicles and improvements in green technology. All our windmills are now and solar farms are more efficient. The world is more interconnected than ever thanks to advanced social media systems and all these apps, these translating apps, which help us communicate more. We have better healthcare and better medicine because science and overall the quality of life has improved thanks to innovation. But such as the nature of man, some things that we make do much more harm to humanity than good. So on one of the recent events that maybe you've heard of if you're not living under a rock is the war between Russia and Ukraine. Regarding this topic, another sector that we may have seen some advancements in is drone technology and automated weapons, such as the nature of warfare. So let's dive into a really complex, controversial topic. We're all manufacturing engineering students, of course. We'll be talking about manufacturing weapons for the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. So the big question is it helping a cause or just fueling a fire? On one hand, supplying weapons to Ukraine is seen as a necessary help to, and I mean a necessary step to help the country defend itself against Russian aggression. Ukraine needs modern military equipment to resist and push back against the invasion. Supporters argue without this aid, Ukraine wouldn't even stand a chance against the much larger, better equipped, and more powerful Russian industrial military complex. So in this sense, providing weapons could be seen as supporting just cause, defending their country. But on the other hand, some argue that flooding the region with more weapons would just escalate the conflict and lead to more destruction, more suffering, and more loss of life. The more weapons that are available, the longer and bloodier the conflict would become. The perspective sees weapons manufacturing and supply as something that perpetuates violence rather than resolving it. There's also the consideration of the global arms industry for manufacturers. War is a profitable business. There's a lot of money to be made, and this can sometimes drive decisions more than ethical considerations. Once again, we wonder whether these companies are motivated by a genuine desire to support Ukraine or simply boost their profits. And then, of course, there's the political aspect. Western countries, particularly the US and the members of NATO, see their support as a way to counter Russian influence and aggression. It's a strategic move in the larger geopolitical game, but at what cost? What do you think? Is it more about defense and standing up to aggression, or are we just adding more fuel to the fire?
I think it depends on why they are providing weapons. Like in everything we do, it's all about the motivation behind it, the intention. So if their intention is highly focused on making profits, then I guess they would want to add fuel to the fire and perhaps double dip, right? Like provide for Ukraine and provide for Russia. Well, if Russia still needs it, because they're pretty much manufacturing everything they got. So I think bottom line is it's depending on the motivation of why each country is contributing to the resources of Ukraine right now. Maybe it's just so they could save face. I mean, imagine if everyone's helping one person and you choose not to.
I agree din. Kasi sa tanong pa lang that you asked, Jackson, is What do you think? It's more defense and standing up to aggression? Or are we just adding more fuel? I would agree sa sinabi ni Faye na it's somehow din na we're gonna add more fuel talaga sa fire in this book. Dahil if ano man tayo dun sa parang kanya magma-manufacture man ng mga weapons sa kanila, it would mangyayari at mangyayari pa rin is mag-add talaga tayo ng fuel dun sa nangyayari sa war nila.
But the thing is, we are supporting Ukraine with this war of aggression, right? War against aggression. But we're not giving them enough to actually push back the Russians out of their territory. We're not giving them enough to win. It's a very prolonged warfare, and a very controversial topic is that the Westerners are deliberately trying to prolong this warfare because they want neither side to win or lose. So, would contributing weapons to Ukrainians actually really help them, or are we just prolonging their suffering? Jacelet, do you think that? I think you had this idea about Russians without the Ukrainians receiving aid, the Russians would just straight up massacre the Ukrainians.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
the Russians can completely take over Ukraine if they wanted to. But at the
Also,
same time, like just the fact that there are some nations helping, well, selling weapons to Ukraine, I don't think it's because they want to prolong the fire or, well, yeah, it's not to prolong the fire. It's more on giving them a shot to defend themselves. I mean, imagine with how things are going right now. Can you just picture that Ukraine barely has any weapons at all? And Russia is this big nation, all powerful. It's like in a snap, they could probably take over completely. So even if, I mean, you could say that, yes, other nations are probably not giving their all so Ukraine can finally put a stop to the war. But at the same time, how much weapons would you need to completely destroy Russia? Or to at least make them stop in trying to invade? I'm pretty sure that's a lot. And I don't think nations would be willing to give it freely. So another question is, like, other than weapons of Ukraine, do they have the resources to get those weapons? Like a lot, like enough to annihilate Russia.
with the engineering ethics view, how about being one of the manufacturers of these weapons being shipped to Ukraine? Do you think that would help?
I think the alternative, if they don't give, is Ukraine won't have a chance to defend themselves, to at least live a little longer, or to win the war, if that's even a possibility at this point. So regardless, you would have to manufacture Rin. Because if you don't, you're basically leaning towards Russia at this point, right? But if you do manufacture, you're helping them defend themselves. You're helping them buy some time to maybe flee the country if they could. I think you can't leave Ukraine at this point, but if you could, right, it buys you time. So would it be better to watch them get destroyed by Russia or to provide them with resources so they could try fighting for themselves? I think if I were to be manufacturing the weapons, I would provide for Ukraine. It's easier than watching them get mercilessly killed. What about you, Joshua? What do you
Yeah, I
think?
would agree din eh. If ako talaga, my answer talaga ng una is parang hindi ko talaga siya iano. But now, uh, ima-manufacture ko talaga yung ng weapons talaga ang Ukraine. Kasi knowing na ang Russia, kung gaano sila talaga kalaki and kung gaano talaga, medyo, ano talaga sila sa kanilang resources talaga. Sobrang dami. So yeah, kailangan din ng talaga, parang binibigyan mo rin ba ng ah chance din, hindi naman 100% na mabibigyan mo na, oh, pag manufacturing ko itong Ukraine ito, panalo kayo. No. doesn't mean that way. So, kumbaga parang binibigyan mo lang sila ng chance to fight for themselves talaga. It's not to win, but also for their country win.
I think the main question is, would you be doing it for profits?
First of all, yeah, isa na rin yun syempre, business is business pa rin. Pero, ang pinakang main siguro na aking intention is for the Ukraine to defend themselves, not for me to have the profit that I want, but for them to defend themselves as well then. So it's like win-win situation for me in my perspective.
Mhm. So you can live knowing that your creations are being used to take lives.
I I wouldn't say that I wouldn't mind, but war is war and meron talagang mamamatay at mamamatay. That's all I can say. Kasi kung business ko to nagma-manufacture ako ng mga weapons. Talagang ano bang weapons talaga, nakakapatay yan. So parang as a businessman, parang normal na yun sa aking mindset na parang, okay, I'm manufacturing the weapons. Probably when my customers bought this, some of them would kill somebody or defend by just defending themselves or by just doing something else.
I think we should be asking Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, usually as engineers, we end up working under businessmen or politicians. So oftentimes when regarding these types of questions, we either have to dive into the the economic and the political side of things. But being one of the manufacturers in the US, let's say that I am one, and the Congress or whatever government body asks me to manufacture these weapons and to be shipped to Ukraine, it's not like I have much of a choice because that's my profession. I'm supposed to do things that I'm supposed to build things that work. I guess in my view, if I'm one of the manufacturers, given this choice, I'd prefer having my products work as best as they could, or in more controversial terms, as little as possible, just so that whatever they're used on will have to suffer as little as possible. I guess maybe kill as killing something as someone as merciful as possible. I guess because there's not really much we can do. We can't stop all the war in the world just by stop shipping arms. Just like you said, if we stop manufacturing weapons, there's probably another one who's gonna replace us. I guess I would only draw the line when it comes to inhuman ones like chemical warfare or biological warfare, napalm, these gases, cluster bombs, mines. I guess those are the parts where I would cross the line because they don't work. They just prolong human suffering. They won't just resolve a conflict. I don't see any use for manufacturing them in an ethical point of view. I mean, at least that's the best I can do.
So what you're saying is not only will you manufacture weapons, but you would make sure that it takes lives.
Not necessarily. It's not about the thought of taking life that counts. It's just that if you make something good enough, it lives up to the standards of whatever they want to kill. I don't want to if they're big, if they're gonna be used anyway. I don't want them to be making whatever that's the target to suffer more than they already are. Like imagine using these white phosphorus bombs on civilians. I think, and I don't know. I just it's like trying to adhere to the Geneva Convention at the same time not angering whatever government body is asking you to do something. Probably the I don't know because everyone needs. I mean, I'm an engineer. Okay, I gotta have some sort of career. That's what's kind of important to me. But there's some things that I can't really control. So I just do the best I can. And for this topic, maybe that's the best I can think of.
I mean, all I'm hearing from you is you're willing to manufacture weapons?
Well, as long as there's money.
That's the
So
goal.
you would
That's the
also do it for profits. Just
I
because,
guess
like,
so.
I mean, in a business sense, you could say that war is in. Like, it's a trend. It's bad to call it a trend, but basically, there's a great demand for the weapons. So by manufacturing weapons, you're just tapping into that business opportunity. So would you go for
Not
it for the
necessarily.
profit?
Not not necessarily, because given the question, if I was a manufacturer of weapons, I mean, I proceed that I already established the nature of the business as manufacturing weapons, right? So what use would there be to just switch into what something good like toys or what, when like you said, they're just gonna find another one to do it for them. So I guess there's not. It's like something being. It's like being pushed into a corner. But still, I try to put standards as much as possible. Like no inhumane weapons. I mean,
Mm.
there's no practical use for that unless you're ISIS. I don't know, but I'm not proud of it. But
All right, then I will
uh,
be taking notes that you're willing to do these things.
so there's another topic. I guess most of us would be more aware of this since it's all over the news regarding a really big company. I'm not talking big, it's Titanic. But it's about the Boeing scandal. For a brief background, it all started with the 737 MAX, which had two major crashes in late 2018 and early 2019, resulting in the death of 346 people. The root of the problem was the MCAS system, which the pilots weren't properly trained to handle. On top of that, it turned out Boeing had some serious issues with their safety practices and how they rushed things to compete with Airbus. Fast forward to early 2024, Boeing had another incident, and Alaska Airlines 737-9 MAX had a door plug blown off mid-flight, causing a rapid decompression and an emergency landing. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt, but it raised big questions about Boeing's quality control. A whistleblower even claimed that the bolts holding the door plug were never properly installed in the first place. So, can you guys give some insights about this issue right now?
In reference to our earlier topic, like manufacturing weapons, making sure it's good quality, it works well, it's top tier. It's very surprising that Boeing would be willing to to jeopardize their reputation by providing subpar products. Because I can imagine that if you're like without the engineering ethics, if you're a businessman, you would want to provide good products, right? That's good for business. That's good for your reputation. That's good for building credibility. So it just doesn't add up to me. Like it doesn't make sense that Boeing would be willing to take the risk.
Actually, same thoughts din. Yan ba yung ano, yung parang sasabihin mo na kung ano mo na talaga yung parang sasabihin mo na sa kanila kung ano talaga yung pagkakamali mo or something. Like, kung yun mismo yun, in my perspective, as a business owner, medyo mahirap din sabihin kasi madaling sabihin na parang, okay, sabihin ko na lang sa kanila, ganyan, ganyan. Pero kung in real life, ang hirap ng decision na yan. Kasi unang-una, if ikaw yung CEO or whatever, ang dami mong binubuhay na tao. Kasi kung isasabihin mo yung totoo, hindi lang ikaw ang bagsak, pati rin yung mga pamilya na pinapakain ng iyong mga trabahador, ganyan. It's very hard. Pero ang pinakamaayos talagang sabihin mo dun is, tell the truth. People deserve it. Kasi kung mas maayos rin na mas not huwag na mapunta sa unethically na thoughts ito, but mas maigi na parang mas umunti ang cost na tulad kasi nung isa 346 people ang namatay, di ba? Mas maayos na ma-prevent pa rin yun just by saying the truth. So yeah, that's a big
I'm kind of happy that there was a whistleblower though, that someone was willing to speak up about the ways that Boeing is cutting corners. Such a big negative impact when you decide to just ignore safety, especially because every day there are so many flights happening. Imagine riding one of those Boeing aircrafts and you don't know if they cut corner in making that specific one. It's so worrying.
Like I said a while ago, I think I said that the root cause was the door plug blowing off, or the MCAS system actually. But if we dive a little deeper, it all started when Boeing and Lockheed Martin, these two airlines, start to merge. And what happened is, before, Boeing used to be run by actual engineers, people who know their thing, people who care about quality control, the product they're churning out of the factories. They care about the customer safety, people's safety. And when these companies combined, they started to focus more on the business side instead of engineers governing, like managing the entire company. It was replaced by a bunch of businessmen who just look at numbers on the screen. All they care about is the value of their stock, so that their shareholders are happy. So what happened is, all of the quality control went down the drain. Like, in one instance, the whistleblower stated that the headquarters of Boeing, which used to be very, very near, like almost beside the factory of the aircraft factory, was actually moved closer to, I don't know, like Wall Street. I forgot. It's some sort of business district somewhere in the U.S. instead of being near the factories, because it's no longer engineers running the place around. A bunch of businessmen who just wants to make the company look good on paper. But in reality, all of these safety protocols, all of these guidelines are all no longer being followed, because once you ignore one and and like you look at it and see, it seems that there's no problem with it, you just go on with it, and then you do it again and again and again, because you didn't see an issue at first, but all of it comes crashing down when the first plane crashes. It's a crazy thing to think about. And we don't have one but actually two whistleblowers. And the first whistleblower was actually a guy who literally wrote a note that said, if he dies, it's not suicide. And so these unethical people, these Boeing management, the CEO, actually off the guy, off. And yeah, just to keep him silence from revealing to the world how how horrible Boeing standards have become.
It's a really scary thing to be involved with because imagine as a future engineer, it's either you'll be contributing to their cutting corners, right? You'll be watching your products explode or crash and kill and end up killing people, or you could risk yourself, right? Not only career, it's not like you're only going to get fired. You're going to be removed from the face of the earth. Would you guys be willing to be involved?
It eerily reminds me of Ocean Gate. Like, would you be willing to go into a submarine that has a video game controller? And now you're gonna go to an airplane that just randomly pitches and up and down, and then until you just plunge into the ground in a fiery death. No thanks. So I'm really glad that these two whistleblowers blew light into this
Mhm.
situation. I
Yeah.
recall that there is an article, I think it was Cebu Pacific, I think, that was supposed to purchase like a fleet of aircraft from either Boeing or Airbus. And right now, since the Boeing issue came into light, a lot of netizens try to pressure, or there was a very big backlash when Cebu Pacific even tried to consider buying Boeing, despite all of the news that's going on. I mean, despite all of the coverage going on with this accidents, these safety protocols being violated. I guess it brings more hope that there are engineers who value life rather than staying ignorant or just abstain, which inevitably cause more harm to others.
If you guys were in that position, like, would you be happy to say that you're working for a company like Boeing. I mean, Boeing is an extremely big company. They're very well known in the airline industry. They're like one of the top, right? Along with Airbus. Would you be willing to say that you're working for Boeing while knowing that they're cutting corners?
Unless kung di lang tanongin, ayaw ko.
I mean, it would look good on your resume.
Oh, shit. When it comes to that, wala magagawa. Siguro ang sasabi pa rin talaga. No choice. Pero ang hirap nun kasi resume pa lang, paano ka, ang labo na siguro mo biglang mapasok. Ganun, diba? Probably still, like ko pa rin. I would, easy to say, but I would do it pa rin. Kasi sobrang hirap. Diba?
I mean, it's good to know that you would be willing to blow the whistle. What about you, Jackson? Would you be willing?
Well, with our previous topic, I talk about being, as an engineer, we have to actually deliver a product that was
Mhm.
requested, right? I want it to work. So similar with, I mean, yeah, I said some things about the weapons, right? The more lethal they are, the less they suffer. Anyway, when it comes to plane, it's no longer, you know, when it comes to these weapons, it's more like you either stay ignorant of the fact or you actually contribute to the deaths. But here in Boeing, it's clearly black and white. You
Mhm.
either blow the whistle and let the world be aware of the safety protocols violated and potentially save lives, which is, what's technically happening right now. A lot of planes have been grounded. So, or you just keep a blind eye, let it pass until more and more people die, more and more violations are being made, and sooner or later, maybe any one of our families, friends, relatives would be riding in those planes that are so poorly built that even Boeing employees would not ride them. Of course, I would blow the whistle. It's not right. I can't
Mhm.
be given a task, and when I see an error and they ask me to look away, that's just not the best. That's not the right thing to do.
Would you be
Guys,
willing despite the fear that they would off you?
fear that the fear of being killed is outweighed by the fear of any of my family members riding these death machines and dying a fiery death, all because some greedy businessmen want to fill their pockets more and stuff their bellies. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. Sadly, we have to end this episode due to time constraints, okay? But this has been a very interesting discussion. It's very fruitful. I think learning about the perspectives of my classmates, very interesting. Do you guys have anything to say about this?
I think it's interesting that we're all willing to manufacture weapons. Should we be worried? I don't know, but at least it's coming from a good place, I'm assuming. I'm sus for both of you.
I mean,
But
we gotta reimburse the tuition we paid. Cut.
I mean, with the economy going as it is right now, with the pandemic and the inflation, I think it would only make sense that we sometimes care about profits. But at least it's coming from a good place. Like, we want to help Ukraine, right? Right? And at least we all care about the quality of products. So I think that's a really good thing. Because even like, I'm kind of happy that even if our products would someday be for mass destruction, we'll make sure that it's good quality, right?
You, I think you'll just make sure you'll indulge before the world comes to an end.
I mean, it would be so good rin naman in your resume if you were to be involved in one of these issues. I mean, not contributing, but like, hey, I manufacture weapons. I contribute, like, I help Ukraine fight a cause or something.
I mean, look at Oppenheimer. He contributed to the world's first atomic bomb, has his name written down in history.
Exactly. I mean, it's amazing to have your name in history, But would you be willing that it would be because you created a bomb that killed
I mean,
so
let's ignore
many
the fact that 200 people died of radiation poisoning, but yeah, no. Like I said, there's some things we can't avoid. War is almost like the nature of man. I can't be Superman, so might as well try to make it as humane as possible.
You're humane. Okay.
Joshua, like last any last words?
Okay, grabe sa last words. So far, yeah, I'm really actually surprised kung ano yung mga sagot natin. But still, yeah, halos isa lang din naman yung ating mga sagot natin. Manufacture natin yung sa Ukraine, kaya anong mangyayari. Kasi war is war, and meron din mga mamamatay kahit tanongin nyo pa na sa atin na sarili na parang, ala, pag pinili mo yung mamamatay, yun talaga ang mangyayari. So, yeah, yun ang mga conclusion ko lang so far.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for your time and efforts to come talk about this controversial topics. Anyway, I guess we'll conclude our discussion.
Well, thank you guys. This has been fun and interesting.
You guys.